We are not technical girlies.
No, we're not. We need an audio video person.
We just are. We're doing our jam. We got this.
We're our own audio and video persons. Kind of. If this has any audio issues, I'm going to lose my absolute shit.
Okay.
All right, folks. Not your fault at all. It's, I don't know whose fault it is, really.
It's probably the demons.
Yes, we have had a demon problem, that's for sure. And it's spooky season, so
Maybe that's it. Let's
cheers
go.
to spooky season, everyone. I hope you're
Cheers,
having a
sis.
lovely ease into fall. I feel like it's been really nice here. As far as like, I love that fall. I saw a TikTok that's like fall is not crazy like these other seasons, like a very demure and mindful.
Yes.
Yeah. She's easing into it. It's getting, the leaves get a little crispy. They start changing colors.
But my tomatoes aren't dead yet. I'm loving it.
Well, a win-win.
Win-win.
Win-win. So yeah. Hope you guys are doing great. We're doing awesome. We just recorded 2 TikToks. That's a lot for us. That's a big word for Elmo. Truly. It's a lot. So
But we do enjoy. I fucking
it's
love it.
fun. It's super fun, but it's so much harder than it looks. It's crazy.
Kudos to creators that can nail it every time.
Absolutely.
Because we do not nail it every time.
I think it probably took us 16 times this time, and that's okay. We're here to win. We're here to get it done and get it done right.
We're just doing our best.
We're just really doing our best, guys. And we're poor, so. Just kidding. No, but really. Anyway, Dani has another story for us today. What is on the table?
Well, in 2007, a small house fire near the Boise Airport caught fire. Officers found the tenant on the porch with a beer and a lighter.
Uh-oh.
What began as an arson call turned into a double homicide when crews uncovered 2 bodies, one in the crawl space and one in the yard. This is how a porch fire led detectives to buried victims and a confession.
Well, shit.
Sources used in today's episode, that bitch, the Idaho Statesman.
Love you, girl.
On April 26, 2007, Boise police arrested 38-year-old Todd C. Hagnis after a house fire near the Boise Airport. The fire started around 9:25 a.m., according to spokesperson Lynn Hightower. Remember Lynn Hightower?
Lynn Hightower. What a great name.
I know. She was on the news, and then she went to be like the spokesperson for the Boise Police Department, right?
Yes, she did. Yep.
But we know her from the news.
You know, we get really connected to our news folks here.
They stay forever.
Larry Gebert, anyone? Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Because he is near and dear to people here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Crews found Hagnis on the porch swing near the flames holding a beer, a lighter, and a phone.
Oh.
Hagnis lived on the 1500 block of Heisel Street and was booked into the Ada County Jail for felony first-degree arson. Detectives said they were still working to learn how the fire started and whether it connected to other crimes on the property. Hightower said there was more to the story than a house fire.
Sounds like it.
During questioning, Hagnis gave information that led detectives to believe 2 homicides had occurred inside the home.
Okay.
Hagnis was held on $1 million bond for arson. Investigators found what they believed were human remains in the crawl space. Because of the seriousness of the suspected crimes and the condition of the evidence, the search was meticulous and methodical.
Thank goodness.
Police said they had partial identities for the possible victims, both acquaintances of Hagnas. And they also found the body of a small dog beneath the house. What's the dog doing?
What the dog doing there?
Right.
Because if your dog dies, when are you ever burying your dog underneath the house? The backyard, sure. On your property, yeah. That's odd. I don't like it.
Police said evidence suggested 2 murders had occurred and named Hagnas a suspect. Investigators began collecting evidence at the home located near Victory Road and Federal Way. Just to kind of give you an idea where it's sitting in Boise. They also believe Hagnas was the anonymous caller who phoned 911 at 7:19 a.m., saying the police would be busy and would need cadaver dogs. And then he later called to report the fire.
Hi, I'm not me. And I saw something suspicious that was not me, but was someone else. At not my house.
And not my house.
I could see the house, though, but I don't live there.
Not me.
I wish we could get these 911 calls.
Oh, my God.
Because it sounds like the jig was up before it even began.
It really was. I mean, and he goes in there and he's like, oh, by the way, those cadaver dogs, they're for 2 dead bodies. Like, he's just spilling just enough to make them go low.
Right. This is so strange.
Because a house fire wouldn't immediately, I'm sure firefighters are not like, oh, there's a house fire, let's go check for cadavers.
No, not at all. That is not the priority.
No, let's get the fire out. Are you okay, sir? Sorry about your luck. Okay, call your insurance company.
That's a typical...
They're not like, well, I know you...
dead bodies in there?
Yeah, I know you just had a fire, but it's our routine part of our investigation to check
Just
for
to ask.
any dead bodies in the crawl space, buried in the backyard. You got a burn barrel.
Maybe you forgot about them, or
Something.
maybe previous owner. You knew about some previous owners' dead bodies.
Can we just discuss this really quick and then we'll get out of your hair? I mean,
No one's asking that. It was because of him.
This is a difficult, disturbing crime, Captain Eugene Smith said. He described the work at the home as painstaking and methodical. You're going to hear methodical like 50 times from me tonight.
And it's because that's the word that's been used in articles again and again.
Neighbors said Hagnis lived with at least 2 other men and possibly a woman, and that the group kept a low profile. Neighbor David Bergner said he had not seen the roommates for several days. He often saw them around a backyard fire pit and frequently saw Hagnis walking his dog. Next door owner J.P. Phillips, Laria, said Hagnis mostly kept to himself. Relatives and a former girlfriend told reporters they were not surprised by Hagnis's arrest.
So something was a little off.
Something was off. You know, you can portray that. Sometimes you can get away with it with people you work with, neighbors. But when girlfriends, close friends, family members are like, yeah, we're not surprised. You can only mask so much. You can only mask so much.
Yeah, we've had a couple cases like this, like where the one, so-and-so's talking about his most recent murder, like where they kind of knew that he had murdered someone, and it was like, oh, here he goes again, out murdering. Damn cousin Dave, whoever the,
It doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah.
Family members said Hagnis had a temper and problems with alcohol, drugs, and the law.
Oh.
Record showed, and these are nothing big, but record showed a 2000 Utah misdemeanor for illegal possession of a controlled substance and paraphernalia. It's probably pot. 2 Oregon misdemeanor contempt of court convictions in 2004, And in '06, an Ada County misdemeanor battery case from a dispute at an apartment complex. Okay, so we're escalating when we get to the misdemeanor battery. But, I mean, well, pot was bad for everybody in 2000.
Well,
remember those
and
times?
You know, it's all about if you get caught or not. I mean, listen, my early 20s, I don't know how I didn't have maybe at least one of those charges. Take your pick. One, spin the wheel. How? And it was purely luck, which, listen, I'm not lucky on the slots. I'm not lucky on the lottery tickets. I guess that's where I got my luck, because what a little hellion I was. I should have had maybe a couple
of those.
One or two of those. Didn't. Not to any of my own brains and skill. I'll tell you that much.
Just pure luck. When you said that, I just heard like the clicking of like a wheel.
Yeah, like whose turn is it? I somehow we've all been a little bit of a shit show at some point in our life.
No doubt. Court papers, Hagnas listed 2 concrete company co-workers as his nearest relatives.
What? My bro.
But one number listed reached someone who said he didn't even know him. Hagnis said he had worked for a concrete company up till July 2006. I'm seeing some huge red flags here. Just why would you not list your family members?
And you're listing 2 coworkers as your family members.
But also, possibly not even the right numbers. He's making up phone numbers. Like he meant like
a man that doesn't want to be found.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like. Because, listen, if you don't have a brother, sister, mother, like, that's okay. I think a lot of people know now that you might not talk to those people. There's a lot of reasons. But if your family is your coworker, why would we have the wrong numbers? Strange.
So, the dog. While investigating, detectives found a decaying dog and freshly disturbed dirt. And by 11 p.m. that night, located human remains.
Not good at all.
This isn't looking good. By day 3, agencies had the cul-de-sac closed to traffic while they collected evidence. In the backyard, officers used ground-penetrating radar and hand tools to sift soil and narrowed their search to a specific area. The arson investigation complicated evidence collection, and the remains found on day 1 had not yet been removed.
I see. And I know that this is a standard way that people try to cover up their crimes is by setting a fire. And I think a lot of it's pretty effective, because think of a fire hose, and everything that can wash away and muddy up. And
it cannot wash away bones and
no,
dead
it
bodies.
can't. It cannot at all. But if there was, because a lot of people think, oh, I'll just kill someone in the living room and then set the house on fire. So they're easily caught, right? Like, yeah, that didn't work. But it's still like other things that you would have had, like footprints or other things. Yeah, it can wash away or mix up different DNAs that have been in the house and put people's DNA on other things. So that, like, you don't want to be blasting shit with a fire hose, but they have to, because they got to put the fire out. So,
Yep, absolutely. So while they're trying to search the other parts of the house for where, because I don't think he was killing somebody in the crawl space.
no,
That was not where
that.
that started.
No.
So the fire definitely complicated. Like they couldn't go and find
Blood spatter on the walls.
Correct.
And everything. So, yeah, 100%. I get what you're saying.
Hightower said detectives were building their case. The home only measured 988 square feet. The owner said that to her knowledge, Hagnis was a sole resident on a 2-year lease that started in June of '06.
And it doesn't sound like that was true for the neighbors.
That's a
Yeah, especially for 2, 3 roommate. I mean, I don't know yet, but it sounds like there was multiple people in and out. I don't know if they live there, but
My first house was 800 square feet and 2 bedrooms. Well, the first house I purchased, it was fucking tiny. But, you can make that work.
it is what it is.
Throw another 188 feet on that. You definitely have more room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was definitely a 1 bathroom.
And that's the roughest part of it.
That is.
Mm-hmm.
On April 30th, investigators confirmed a second body in the northeast corner of the backyard at around 6:30 p.m. after a day of digging under a blue tarp and sifting through soil screens. That is the worst. And we saw this out with the Velo case.
Mm-hmm.
They pop up that tent and they're literally sifting dirt.
Yeah. Ugh. Not. I respect people in this line of work, but I can't even imagine doing that and like thinking of the Valo case and the things that they found. Terrifying, horrifying.
I'd be physically ill.
And the shitty one about that case is everyone knew.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone with, sure, people want to give the benefit of the doubt, but why wouldn't you just show your kids? And I mean, because Idaho is one of those states where you can refuse medical care for religious reasons. Mm-hmm. And so if you can just show that your kid's alive, you have the right to do whatever. And if you're the custodial parent, and so since that didn't happen, everyone should have probably known. But that doesn't change the fact that it's like, oh, we're in Chad's backyard in the little animal graveyard.
Yeah.
Ill. Atrocious.
The body, still covered with soil, was taken to the Ada County morgue along with the dog's bones. Firefighters had to cut an exterior wall and pulled up flooring to improve access to the crawl space where the other body remained. Still there.
Damn.
Captain Smith said investigators had to be slow and methodical.
Methodical.
To be sure nothing was missed. Names, genders, condition of the remains, and signs of trauma were withheld from the public. Autopsies were expected within a few days. Hagnis remained a suspect based on his statements and about where the bodies might be found. Of course.
Obviously.
Get your cadaver dogs. What an idiot.
And just, if you're going to like murder people, and it sounds like, I don't know how long they've been there or whatever, it doesn't sound like there was a huge investigation. Why are you kind of trying to do a mini arson, get rid of evidence, but then not like...
And then he initiated the call to 911.
Yeah, what are we doing? To get what's
Isn't he supposed to let the motherfucker burn?
Or just, did he even have to burn it? Like, how much was suspicion of these missing people? Like, did anyone know they were missing? Could he have just lived life for 5 years there or went on his merry way to somewhere else? Who knows?
They had to bring in some animal welfare people to help remove other live animals from the property.
Oh.
Reptiles from a back bedroom went to animal control. Fish and turtles from a front yard pond went to a rescue group.
Okay.
Ponds are hard. I'm just only giggling because ponds are hard to take care of.
Extremely, especially in Idaho, like
that actually have live fish and turtles in them. Anyway, just a little.
No, you got to really be
on
it.
Neighbor John Parpert said he and Hagnis had a friendly flower bed competition. He described Hagnis as neighborly and friendly, sometimes a little out at night, and said he had no idea anything like this was happening. He's into his yard.
Well, and listen, with my neighbors, we've got one neighbor that we're very close with just because we knew them before they moved in. And so, of course, they're our favorite neighbors. What a blessing. Let me just say, if you have a friend moving next to you, it's so fucking cool. It's like an adult, like, not a slumber party, but just like
Camp.
built-in friend right there. If you don't want to go anywhere, but you just want to hang out, and they're just amazing. But you know, we know our neighbors, but it's very high level, you know.
So it sounds like he was making he was making friends and had relationships with some people to have a friendly gardening competition. We don't know what that's like.
Yeah, that's more than most.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Investigators expected to work the scene another 2 or 3 days.
Damn.
They even brought in portable toilets and a mobile command center just set up out in front of the house. As police prepared to wrap up on the scene work, residents were looking for answers. Darcy Johnson, whose yard shared a fence with the property, said to Hagnas, "Like to garden." And he would toss her children's balls back over the fence. I mean, that's a nice... Look, if you've had kids and you have that jerk neighbor
that takes offense to it being in their yard.
Your kids aren't getting their stuff back.
At the very least, or at the most, you're getting a visit or a screaming or an air horn from a neighbor. So, yeah. Hey friends, just checking in to say that we all struggle sometimes. Mental illness is more common than most people realize. 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. experience it every year. Anxiety, depression, bipolar, PTSD, these aren't signs of weakness. They're health conditions that deserve treatment and compassion, just like diabetes or heart disease. If you're struggling, you don't have to do it alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Hotline is available 24/7. Call or text 988 to connect with trained crisis counselors who will listen and help you through tough moments. Veterans can press 1 after dialing 988 to connect directly with the Veterans Crisis Line. For young people, the Trevor Project offers 24/7 support for LGBTQ+ youth. Call 1-866-488-7386 or text START to 678-678. Remember, asking for help is not a weakness. It is an act of strength. You matter, and recovery is possible.
Access to the crawlspace body was gained Monday afternoon and autopsies began. In recent memory, this was the most time-consuming and difficult crime scene we had encountered, Captain Smith said. Can you imagine, like, to get that body out from underneath, they had to cut out walls and floors.
And of course, any crawl space thing always brings me to John Wayne Gacy. And if everyone knows that. But just thinking, the work for 2 in this case, I don't even remember how many he had. And
I just off the top, I want to say it was 17, but I could be wrong.
It was
a lot.
More than 10, I'm pretty sure.
It was a lot.
But just thinking of just trying to put myself in the mind of someone like this, where it's like, oh, whoopsie, killed someone, or, you know, your little urges got too far. Like, that's not me. But if I did, and I decided to put a body in a crawl space and seeing how difficult that would be, imagine digging with no headroom and like how gross crawl spaces are, how little room there is. And he did it that many times to where he was running out of fucking room, essentially. And now we've got this guy that's like, I don't know when the murders happened, but you did it once and you're doing it again. I guess this is one, I wouldn't do it at all, but I'm too fucking lazy for that shit. I'm not going in a crawl space for shit. If my life depends on it, maybe. But if
I don't ever
we've
think...
got friends that know how to do trades, if it's HVAC or whatever, I'm not getting in a fucking crawl space to bury a body.
I don't think I've ever. I'm just
All
really.
the true crime we listen to, crawl space, is that if you were a different person, a serial killer,
No.
body going in your crawl space.
No. Desert.
Demon.
Fuck.
Desert is correct, though. Or just, I mean, hello, Frank, trip to wilderness.
That's too far to travel. I got the Waihe's right here.
If you planned it, you could have time to travel inconspicuously.
We could go fishing like Martinez. On May 3rd, the Ada County coroner said the man and woman found at the Heisel Street home had been killed several weeks earlier and were roommates of the suspect. Jody Collingsworth, age 36, died from a slash wound to the throat, and she was the body that was found in the crawl space.
Horrific.
Jeffrey Allen Willett, age 48, died from a blunt force blow to the head, and he was found in the backyard.
What the hell is happening in this house?
Both had... Go ahead.
But can I just say, not trying to make light of anything, but you said she was the one that was buried first? Maybe. Because in my opinion, trying to bury a body in a crawl space and then why you would do it in the backyard for the next one seems logical to me. So just we'll put a pin in that.
Jeffrey Allen Willett, 48, died from a blunt force blow to the head and was found in the backyard. Both had additional injuries and were badly decomposed. They'd been there a hot minute. Early evidence suggested Collingsworth died first. So Jody, you nailed it, died first. She was identified by tattoos and Willett by fingerprints. Police said both were part-time roommates at the house rented by Hagnas.
And again, for this guy to call the cops and clue it in. So for one, if you had them both in the crawl space and you're able to keep up neighborly and tenant relationships, if you have a cool landlord and they're never coming by, even if they are coming by, no one's checking your crawl space for bodies.
No.
I feel like this could have went on and been unsolved for years.
There's something that triggered him to start that fire. And who knows what's going on in his brain. It's just sad, though. I mean, these two innocent... They thought he was probably their friend and roommate. And
yeah. And maybe, I'm not sure how the missing person case, if there was missing person cases for these two. And even if there wasn't, that doesn't mean anything. It's just missing person, we know, is all about how forceful the family is and friends are. And sometimes police tell you things to make you think that you can't keep pushing for it regardless. So if it was that type of situation, this could have went maybe forever.
Just continue gardening.
Yeah. Oh, so-and-so, these free spirits must have went to Cancun or to Jamaica or, you know.
Let me tell you.
Tell me about it.
Willett's ex-wife, Jewel, said he had been trying to get his life back on track and that he was a caring father and a hard worker. This is the ex saying this. So, you know, he accepted people without a thought. The father of four and a grandfather of four had lived in the Treasure Valley for nearly 20 years. He worked a long stint as a pit crew chief at Meridian Speedway.
Love it.
And more recently, he was doing electrical work at a trailer construction company in Boise. She said he had battled alcoholism but was improving. But she became concerned when he missed their son's 18th birthday and stopped showing up for work.
Uh-oh.
Jewel said she knew Hagnis and felt uncomfortable around him. She recalled him feeding a live baby rabbit to a snake in front of her child. Officials,
Listen.
there's some red flags there.
Yeah.
Officials said they only located a relative for Collingsworth, and that relative was incarcerated out of state. So, not a whole lot on Jody as far as her background. But Jeffrey Willett, he had kids. It sounded like his ex-wife and him had a decent...
An agreement, yeah.
Yeah, a decent
doing all right.
relationship. She wasn't like, go fuck yourself. She's like, there was some weird things going on over there. But, he's a good dad. Mm-hmm. When he didn't call our son, definitely...
Red flag.
Red flag, yeah. In early June, a grand jury indicted Hagnas on 2 counts of first-degree murder. The filing suggested Jody may have been killed as early as December 30th, 2006.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. On June 13th, Hagnis pleaded not guilty in 4th District Court. Prosecutors then filed notice to seek the death penalty. They argued the crimes were especially heinous and showed an utter disregard for human life. They also said that there was evidence that Jeffrey may have been killed because he was a potential witness to Jody's earlier murder.
Uh-oh.
He probably was like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, no shit.
Police and prosecutors said Hagnis may have lived in the rental for up to 4 months with Jody in the crawl space.
Sounds like it.
Allegations include slashing Jody's throat sometime between December 30th, 06 and March 07, and killing Jeffrey by blunt force and burying him between March 31st and April 26th. They're not exactly sure of these dates, but I do believe that Jody was killed way earlier.
I believe so as well, because I can see how this would escalate.
On January 29th, 2008, Hagnis avoided a possible death sentence by pleading guilty to killing his roommates and burying them before setting the home on fire. Prosecutors dropped the death penalty request in exchange for the guilty pleas on 2 counts of second-degree murder for Jeffrey Willett and Jody Collingsworth. Hagnis admitted to the murders and agreed to life in prison without the possibility of parole. On March 3rd, Hagnis answered Judge Sherry Copsey's questions with just a yes. He was didn't elaborate in court. Jeffrey's family said the plea was a relief because Hagnis would never leave prison and they would be spared weeks of explicit testimony.
Sure. And that's the truth.
Like, no. If he's going to sit there and rot forever, boom. No motive was offered in court. And the arson charge was dismissed as part of the agreement.
Sure.
So this guy's going away. Bye. I've been holding on to this story for a long time. Because I couldn't find, when I looked up Hagnis's record with IDOC, he was not pulling up.
Oh.
It's a big part of my storytelling. One of the first things that I do when researching is I just go to IDOC and see their status, where they're at. Are they out? Are they dead? Are they in Arizona?
Right. Have they been shipped out?
Where are they at? I'm not kidding. There was nothing out there. So I've just been kind of sitting on it. But then one day I was like, oh, I want to just check. And I checked. So I do have, I will have some kind of resolution. But, and that's leading into this part. So he's rotting in jail for the rest of his life.
Okay.
But in early 2015, 45-year-old Hagnis appeared on the Ada County jail roster on a new charge of assaulting a corrections officer at a prison in South Boise. According to spokesman Patrick Orr, the incident happened on October 30th at about 6:30 in the morning. A corrections officer was feeding inmates through door openings when Hagnis complained about a toilet problem in his cell. The officer told him to move to the back. Security opened the door, and the officer stepped inside to talk with him.
Mm-hmm.
Moments later, the officer said Hagnis attacked. The officer took him to the ground, and additional staff arrived and restrained him. The officer suffered facial injuries. And on January 6th, Ada County prosecutors issued an arrest warrant for felony assault and battery on certain personnel. Then he got another 5-year prison term for that. Which makes me think that is the lie I couldn't find. Even when I did find him now, let me just tell you. Todd Hagnis is currently 56 years old and residing in other jail, according to the IDOC's website.
What the fuck is that?
Let me show you exactly. Look. Oh, I didn't snap it from today. It just says in custody. But
that is so weird.
When I looked at it today, because this I did, look, in August, I've been just checking on him and checking on him. And I started this way earlier than that. But it literally says other jail. He's located in other jail.
Located other
jail.
None of the above.
This is the first time that this has ever happened. So what I see is, different correctional facilities in Idaho and sometimes
other states, right?
Arizona. Arizona's the big one for us. Mm-hmm. We have a contract with them where we ship our long-term inmates down there to the desert.
The other desert.
But yeah, I just thought it was so weird that I couldn't locate him in any facility.
That is super strange. What's really going on here?
Kind of, yeah. And I'm just saying, it probably has to do something with him and assaulting a correctional officer.
Yeah, shit.
I mean,
sounded like it was a bad deal.
Fuck you, Hagnis. You can't go around killing roommates. But also, sketchy on the IDOC. Where's he at?
Yeah. So this is a case that's full of question marks because
we don't know why.
Yes, there is no why, no motive.
In some of my research, there was talk about some medications used for mental illness, possibly. Sure. I would have to think, I think just crazy and mental illness kind of get crossed. There's some people that are just, they don't give a fuck.
Psychopathic or sociopathic versus like depression, anxiety,
right?
Things like that.
He literally started his house on fire, called 911.
And it was like, it might complicate it with the bodies, but if you want to put the fire out, but there is those bodies.
Yeah.
What?
Say what?
Yeah, because it does sound like what you had mentioned, that it was maybe 2 to 4 months prior that this had happened. Yeah. And if you've gotten along that far without a big missing person case and search and police inquiries and warrants and searches and all that shit, if you lit the house on fire, I can kind of understand that. And this is all me trying to understand. So I can understand that. But why are we calling the cops and being like, whoops.
Bring the cadaver dogs.
Bring the cadaver dogs to the house fire, though.
Mm-hmm. What? You're not just going to need a fire engine. You're going to need dogs that find dead things. Why?
Yes. So
a lot going on. No motive. I just thought that for me, this story was interesting. A, because I couldn't find him. That was my biggest thing.
Yeah, that's super
I was
suspicious.
like, he literally wouldn't show up. Literally would not show up on IDOC
Like, what
for
the
months.
fuck?
It was just like, this doesn't exist. That'd be like me typing in my name or your name into IDOC. We're not, I don't know. I've known you for a long time, Steph. I don't have a prison ID number.
Knock on wood.
Okay. So you can search anybody that's been in IDOC, and if they're out or not, it just tells you this guy obviously did the crime.
Yeah.
Like, this is a thing.
It has been there.
So for me not to even be able to locate him was weird. And it does say on the website, if you're unable to locate, you can contact. I'm 40 cases in. I have never found that to be the case. This was the one guy.
Strange.
And then I found that he had assaulted an officer. And I was like, oh. So I just kept checking on him because I feel like that's the final point of my stories all the time. It's just hey, let me tell you how old they are. Let me tell you where they're at. Are they dead? Whatever. And this guy, I had no resolution. So I was just like, I'm just going to let this sit here. And he finally popped up. But now he's in other jail.
Other
jail. I guess I could be ballsy and reach out to IDOC. Because you can. But
not always the best response. I think we've tried. Haven't you tried that before? I feel like you have.
I've reached out for a few things. Unless you dot your I's and cross your T's a certain way. And they're like, yeah, go fuck yourself. So,
They're like, we don't know what the fuck about shit. Mm-mm.
but also this was 2015. So, within the last 10 years,
Yeah.
I'm just like, why do we not have like,
where are you, bitch?
yeah, why don't we have more motive? I don't know. I just feel like we should have had more.
Yeah, there should have been more deeds for sure. Something that their cell phone records were definitely a thing.
Yeah. And maybe it's just they didn't need it because he's like, yeah. I mean, they had him dead.
Yeah.
They had him dead to rights on it. I mean, he's like, you might want to look for dead bodies at my house.
Fucking weird.
So,
Yeah. All right, Danny. Well, thank you for another very intriguing Idaho case. Thank you guys at home for following, liking, subscribing, comments on TikToks. We have so much fun. Thank you guys for commenting the cutest and most hilarious things ever. That's all I've got, Danny. Anything else?
no, that's all I got. Bye.
All right. Bye. This podcast brought to you by that barking motherfucker Harry.